Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dear Alice. Today we have Alison Kenworthy from Homeworthy on. I am so excited about this interview. Those of you that have been watching Homeworthy, we know how much we love it. We're getting a firsthand peek into all these fabulous houses. I went on Homeworthy in January of 2025, and I noticed in reading the comments that so many people were like, how did you get on Homeworthy? They love the show. They're hanging on every word, and it's been like everybody's favorite TV show that loves design. So if you haven't heard of it yet, you've got to tune in, and you're going to love hearing from Alison today in our interview.
Her background is incredible.
Yeah.
More than anything, that was like fascinating to understand like why Homeworthy works, and it's because of how she's wired and her DNA. Like that is the only way this succeeds is because of her. So enjoy. So good.
Before we get into that, though, we've been getting so many amazing reviews from all you listeners, and we're super thankful. Molly Riv wrote into us and left us a review that says, "This is my all-time favorite podcast. I love the design and love the wealth of information that is shared, but I also enjoy the personalities of these three people." So, yeah, so
Molly
sweet.
Riv.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for writing in.
Okay, and then really fast before we get into the episode, if you are doing a remodel or you're thinking about a new build, ALID is taking new applicants for the rest of 2025, that latter part into the forever future. So if you have a project and we can help you, please write in, and you can just go to design services on our website, and then you'll just go down to Alice Lane Interior Design, fill out the application, and we'll get back to you. We're so excited. We love a good project. So
Yes, we do. Okay, let's get on to Alison.
Alison Kenworthy is a 3-time Emmy Award-winning television producer and the founder of Homeworthy, a media network that highlights extraordinary people and their homes. That's our favorite. Founded in 2020, Homeworthy now generates over 1.2 billion minutes watched annually across its streaming platforms. She formerly worked at ABC's Good Morning America, where she covered entertainment stories from the red carpets to the Golden Globes and the Met Gala. Alison grew up in a historic neighborhood in Georgetown, Washington, D.C., which is where she developed her love of homes and decor. She lives in Manhattan with her husband and 2 children. Welcome, Alison. We're so excited you're here.
Yes.
I'm so thrilled.
Yay. We're so lucky. Everybody listening right now, if you haven't heard of Homeworthy, you're in for such a treat.
Crawl out of the rock that you're in.
Yeah. This is, Alison, I can't believe that somebody didn't think of this before you. Of course, it took your brilliant mind to think of it. And I would love for you to tell people, how did you come to this idea? You obviously had a really successful career producing at ABC. What made you take the leap?
Well, I had been in television for my entire professional career. I'd been in local news in Washington, D.C., and then I was at ABC News at the network in New York City working for Good Morning America. And I loved network news. I loved the intensity of it and the pressure of it and the pace of it and the fact that every day was different. One day you might be covering the Met Gala, as you had mentioned earlier. Another day you might be covering a breaking economic story. Another day you might be covering a natural disaster. I mean, every day was different. But I always had this common thread sort of through me that was a passion for home and story and design. And as I was just thinking about my own career and future, I never envisioned being a CEO or a founder or any of it. I thought I would just remain a producer in the news world forever. But I just had this sort of little voice in the back of my head that was saying, I think that you could create something that combines your 2 passions of storytelling and design. And that's really what Homeworthy is. It's the intersection of storytelling and design. And I think that's what sets us apart from other outlets and organizations, is really sort of the story side of it, because the person is so integral to our episodes. They are all hosted by the homeowner themselves. So you're getting a chance to welcome them into your home. You know, people are watching on their TV screens. 50% of our viewers project onto television. So they're sitting down on a Wednesday night with a glass of wine or a Saturday morning with a cup of coffee, and they're enjoying these 45-minute, hour-long episodes that are deep dives into people's homes. So it's turned into something I hadn't imagined when I first started. From the beginning, I just thought, I just want to tell stories around well, really at the time, it was like the tri-state area. I'm based in New York City, so it was just sort of the areas around me. And since we were founded in 2019, we've expanded. But it was just this idea that I had, and I thought, why not just go for it?
Yeah. So in the beginning, was it different than it is today? I mean, the sheer amount of content, Alison, I can speak from experience. I went on Homeworthy the beginning in January of 2025, and they had asked me, do you want to do your house for holiday? Because we were actually shooting in November. And I was like, no, let's not worry about holiday. We'll just show the home as it normally sits. And they said, okay, because we're doing a different house every day of December. That
25 days of Christmas.
That's so intense.
Okay,
oh my gosh.
It broke my brain that you guys could film that much content with that much people's homes already decorated for holiday, which some people do get started in October. But you guys are going at breakneck speed and you're creating the most content I've ever heard of in my life. How on earth are you doing it? How big is your team?
I think had I not worked in news prior to launching this brand, we would not create this much content. But when you come from an environment like ABC News and Good Morning America, where your deadlines are so tight and they're so fast, that's essentially what we're doing at Homeworthy. We're trying to create, this is, lofty, but this idea of kind of the CNN of design, where we have just like premium content all the time. You know, and this is really, in my mind, just the beginning stages of it. I hope that this is just like the beginning. And we have a team of, I would say, well, it's probably about 120 producers, videographers, editors all over the world. So when we want to film something in Morocco, we've got a great team there. And that's what's been so exciting, is to watch this team grow from just me in the early days on my iPhone.
Oh my gosh.
With a little tiny attachment.
Shut up.
Calling in favors from friends saying, hey, I have this idea. I'm starting this new brand called Homeworthy. Could I come over and interview you and feature your home? And I would film everything on my iPhone. And in fact, the earliest episode we ever did with Bunny Williams was filmed on my phone.
No, I just got cold chills.
And that episode has over 1 million views.
I was about to say, I'm like, that's the most viewed video, I think, on your account, right?
Top 5. Yeah.
People
love Bunny. And we've got more.
Where does Bunny live? Where's her home?
She has a place in Connecticut.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I didn't think she was like in New York City proper. So
she probably has a place
she's
there.
Out. She's a beautiful country house with lush gardens and she's so fabulous and she's unbelievable on camera. But filmed on my iPhone. And at the end of my time at GMA, we were actually filming some content for broadcast that was being seen by 6 million people on phones. And the other thing I'll mention about the early days and filming on a phone, and what I learned from it, was you really disarm people when you don't show up with a large production.
Such a good point.
And I think that that's really part of our secret sauce, is that we could show up with a sound tech. We could show up with a massive, massive crew, but there's something about having a small footprint that gives you more authentic answers from from the person that you're interviewing. And that has been such an important part for me, really the storytelling aspect, and really getting the person to feel comfortable with a camera in their home as they're showing you their powder room, or the inside of their fridge, or all of these nooks and crannies of their home that people are just like dying to see.
So you're not still filming on iPhone though, are you?
No.
Occasionally,
if I'm in a real bind, Or I was in Washington actually a few weeks ago filming with a woman who's 97 years old. And she's such an incredible woman. She was the, what was her title? I think it's that she was the chief of protocol in the White House under President Reagan.
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
She oversaw like 100 state dinners. She greeted every major dignitary who came to the White House. She's got just incredible photos of her with Jackie Kennedy, with Queen Elizabeth, with President Obama. I mean, and so for me, that was so important to really hear her story and not sort of shock her with a big camera crew. So I did that with my phone.
That's amazing.
Gosh, the stories that you've heard.
I know.
Like, I'm still back.
Is there like
back in your last for that gal that worked for the White House? I'm like, I bet she had
I know. Well, stay tuned. She's coming.
Stories. I cannot wait.
I just felt like she had a front row view to history, and just being able to hear her stories was so wonderful for me. And then to be able to share her stories with other people who may not know her. And she doesn't skip a beat. I mean, at 97 years old, and she was proud to say it. She was like, I'm just like, I feel like I should go shout it from the mountaintops or something if I'm 97. I mean, she just like had so many great lines.
So is there a certain type of home that comes in and you're like, this is it? Is there like a certain thing that just gets your pulse racing? You're like, this is like that, like this gal, obviously in her 90s that worked in the White. Is it that they're people of interest, and so you know that their homes are going to be interesting, or is it a location, or
do you go after them?
Well, yeah.
Well, it's a combination. So a lot of people now approach us, but we certainly go after people as well. But I think for me, like, my personal aesthetic, I love maximalism. I love layers. I love a lot going on. I love stacks of dusty books and like tchotchkes. And I mean, I'm like one paper clip away from my apartment, just like dusty out. I have so much stuff. And that is what I like. So I'm really excited personally when I see those kinds of homes. But not everybody likes that. So we really try and be an equal opportunist on the channel and showcase modern and showcase beautiful sort of country homes, beach homes, mountain homes, city apartments that are 300 square feet, homes that are minimalist. I mean, it may not be my personal preference, but it's somebody's. So I think that when we're looking for bookings, it's a combination of who is the person? Do they feel comfortable on camera to carry an episode themselves?
Yeah.
Because they're the only person there. And then does the home feel like it has a soul and a story, and what can they share about certain items? It's never been for me, this came from, this cost this much money, or this is this designer, or it's really for me been about what is the story behind the item. Did you get it at a flea market for $20 or did you break on the side of the road to pick something up, or was something passed down from a family member, or maybe did you way overpay for an antique that you realized you got totally ripped off on? So it all goes back to the story, whether it be about the person or about the home.
Jess, we've been getting a ton of questions on who makes your glasses.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone wants to know.
You guys, I'm at this age now where my near vision is leaving me. You're not quite as old as I am yet, but Sue, you're experiencing this.
40 hit, and like, I needed my glasses before, but I really, really need them now. Yeah.
Between 40 and 45, that cell phone type gets really tiny. So I was in search for the perfect pair of readers, and I tried Look Optic, and I have to say, I've loved them so much that I've actually began working with them a little bit as an advisor. And my dad's an eye doctor. My brother-in-law is. I really, really love eyewear. And it's been really fun to be back in the game. And I love their readers. I love the fashion frames. It's not a pair of frames that looks like I'm wearing something made for men. You know those readers when you go to Walgreens or when you go to the grocery store or somewhere, and they're just like a 3-pack and they all look like they were made for men. Look Optic actually has really cute frames that are made for women.
Especially for, again, those ones that look like men's, they look like a giant man on my little head.
Yes, Suzanne has a child size head, and they actually have minis at Look Optic. The Diane Keaton collection. I gave you all my Diane Keaton ones.
I love the Diane Keaton collection. They fit my head great. They're comfortable. Yeah. They have the cutest colors. Like, some of them are matte. They have the bone ones. I love them so much.
Yeah, they're cute. And one of my little like fast passes that I want to tell everybody is that if you do the progressive lens, it's clear up top. You just get magnification in the bottom where you need it, because that's how you're looking at a cell phone or you're reading paper down here or you're on your laptop. You don't need magnification out the top because that's going to make your eyeballs look huge.
Yeah.
And then you really look like you're wearing a reader. So we're trying to like keep this low profile. And so I always go with the progressive. My favorite styles, I really love the Laurel. And they have this cool one that's like the Muse. It kind of looks like a 70s update. It's cool. They have one with a pink lens too. In fact, my daughter's still that one from me. It's great. Anyway, you guys can discover your own styles, but I will say Look Optic has been such a gateway for me as I've needed to jump into that reader category.
Right now, you can receive some free glasses from Look Optic. All you have to do is text Alice to 21252. That is text Alice, ALICE, to the number 21252. The first 20 new customers will get a free pair of readers. And if you're an existing customer, we also have an amazing discount for you. If you go to lookoptic.com, you can use the code ALICE15 for 15% off.
You know what I love about Homeworthy? I mean, we all love AD Open Door. You don't get them very often. It's only celebrities. And Homeworthy is this great place where we get to play open door every day. And we get to see not normal people, because you have extraordinary people like this lady in the White House and Bunny Williams, like we talked about, but you get to see sort of a whole nother volume of great homes and interesting ways people are living. And we're all such voyeurs. Like we all want to see what's happening on the inside, and we get to meet all these characters. And because you're long format, we really get to hang out with them for a while and see like this huge dynamic of their space. And there needed to be a platform like this. We all love interior design. We all buy the Shelter magazines, or we used to, and this is like our new Shelter magazine, is watching this on video. But it was really so brilliant of you to do it when you did it. And I think there's like, everybody's so fascinated. We also always say there's not an amazing interior design show. That's
interesting.
Right. There used to be $1 Million Decorators on.
Yes.
Right.
We were talking to two of those decorators, by the way.
Okay. That was my favorite show. Yes. Amazing. And we just haven't had that. We have so many $1 Million Listing New York. We have all of the real estate shows where we get to like peek into these beautiful houses. But other than that, we don't get to see fabulous homes on TV. And it's time. And Homeworthy, I'm not surprised that people are casting this to their TV, because we want to see this on TV. And you get the reality piece of it, because it is real. And you've got the person that lives in that home that's not a media trained professional showing you through their houses. So you're getting homes on TV now if you're casting, or maybe you're watching it on your phone or your laptop or whatever. But there's a real need for this in the market for those of us listening to the podcast right now that love design, those of us that do design professionally. Who can we look up to? What can we see besides, magazines or Pinterest? This is so amazing.
Well, and there are so many homes, and there are so many homes. People who have beautiful spaces, and they are proud of them, and they want to show them to the world.
Yeah.
And with, there's only a certain number of publications, and there's only a certain amount of pages that they have in their magazines to publish. But for us, it's endless. I mean, we could put out 10 episodes a day if we had the bandwidth for it, and if our viewers had the appetite for it. And I think that we'll continue to push the limits to see how much appetite there really is, because as we think about growth in the future, what does that look like? Does it look like 5 episodes a day? Is that too much as we think about expansion?
Speaking of bandwidth, like you create more content than a content creator. Like nobody has this bandwidth. And I think because you were brought up in television, you do have this crazy ability to take on something like this. And I don't know that a network could do it at the speed and veracity that you're doing it. So you've got this whole market cornered, and it's incredible what you've accomplished.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's really a testament to the team that we have, and they are so good and really dedicated and so smart and have really bright ideas. And I'm just excited for the future with this team that we're growing. So, and you had mentioned earlier, people wanting to know maybe how they can be featured.
Yeah.
we always encourage people to reach out to us and share pictures, share their story. They can, I think the email is hello@homeworthy.com. Hopefully I'm not sending them somewhere they shouldn't go. But we want to hear from people because maybe there's a fabulous home and an incredible story in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that needs to be told, and we want to tell it. So we love viewer submissions. We really do.
I always felt safe because of him. My home was a sanctuary. We loved it when Dad was home. He's the biggest tease. He's so much fun and such the heartbeat of our house. This Father's Day, what better way to create that sanctuary for him than with Cozy Earth? This Father's Day, I'm going to be giving both my husband and my dad the same thing: bamboo stretch knit pajama pants. They're cooling. I know both my dad and my husband sleep really hot, and these make you sleep cooler. They're really lightweight. They're stretch in every direction, and they're going to sleep really, really great. Cozy Earth makes comfort that lasts, guaranteeing a lifetime warranty on all apparel items. And for this Father's Day, you can find the perfect gift for him. Go to cozyearth.com and use code DearAlice for up to 40% off all men's apparel. That's cozyearth.com, code DearAlice.
I could see very easily going and binging Homeworthy.
Yes,
on TV,
okay.
and it's so relatable, and I love how real the people are, because even in those $1 million listings, everything's so pristine that they can't see themselves living a beautiful life that way.
Right.
So I think the ability for us to tell our own stories becomes a lot more real while watching Homeworthy.
It's also inspiring. Feel like most of those $1 million listing, LA, all of those, it's always these brand new contemporary spaces that nobody's lived in, and they're always slick and glossy.
It's cold.
Yeah, and what's so fun and contrasty about it to Homeworthy is that there's life that's being lived in these homes for a long time. It's not freshly installed spaces like when we shoot our projects, where it's like this is perfectly imperfect. Everything about it is believable. It's as real as reality TV gets, without any drama. And you get to see how they're really living their lives, and you get a sneak of a pet, or,
love pets.
Yes.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. You did, what's her name? She's a fashion gal. Her daughter was really big on TikTok and had a big following. And then the mom started showing her clothes, and everybody is obsessed with the mom, and she has so many cats. And I'm like, I'm so excited to finally see her house. And her club chairs were just completely thrashed from all the cats. And she loved that the silk was ripped and shredded. And it was just like, it was so
real
fun.
life.
Yeah, it was so fun getting to see how she lived, because all you ever see is her bathroom, and her wearing all these cool curated, outfits that are put together. Anyway, yeah, we got to just really admire the real person and how they really live.
Well, we try and have a mix of sort of relatable content, but also then aspirational content, so that there's really something for everybody. And going back to the long form idea of it, I think what's exciting too about this YouTube platform is that you can watch it on 2x. So if you want to speed through, or you want to scrub through, if you really want to get to that living room or to that, guest bedroom, you can just move right ahead to get there. I mean, that's kind of the beauty of these episodes. I mean, if you want to watch 45 minutes, you can. If you want to piece it together, you can also do that.
Cliff notes it. Yep. I love it.
Do you have a favorite?
That's like asking you to pick a favorite child.
I know.
You can say more than one if you want to.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd love to hear yours.
Yeah, I would love to know.
Well, I think some of the favorites for me are some of the ones that have really helped build the brand, the ones that were done really kind of in the early days. I have a dear friend. His name is Eric Motley. He is the deputy director of the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. Oh. He's an author of a book, and he's got just a really compelling personal story. And he collects beautiful pieces of art, and he collects rare books. He had just bookcases full of old books, kinds that have etchings on the bindings, so that when you actually flip the binding of the book, it almost tells a story. So he was a really fun one to profile. I loved Miles Red and Alex Papagoukidis. That was a great conversation of the two of them in conversation at Miles's townhouse. And it was so funny. Alex walked in he's a big collector. He loves to just amass, things here and there. And he walks into Miles' house and he says something to the effect of like, oh, I can go shopping again. He being in Miles' house, he felt reassured that like, oh, Miles has even more things than I have.
Permission granted.
Yeah. So now he can shop for even more. So those have been, and then of course, Bunny Williams is so fabulous, and everything that she does is just pure gold. So, it was great to profile her. We have a wonderful woman who we have a series with. She lives in a town called Berwyn, Pennsylvania. Her name is Ruth McKinney. She's got a beautiful home, with ruins on it and an old farmhouse that she and her husband took from nothing. I mean, it was in the most dilapidated state. And they really put their gloves on and refurbished this home over the course of like a number of years. And it's rolling hills, beautiful gardens. And we have a fabulous series with her. She actually has a really fun episode coming out all about like Derby Day. And we sort of follow her life and produce roughly, I think, one episode a month with her. So we're also trying to build up personalities and really make it so that people are coming back and they're seeing some of the same people who they really like. We have a great series called The Paris Project, where we follow interior designer Garo Ketigan around Paris as he redoes a gorgeous apartment that he has there.
That's so fun.
That's amazing.
Then we did some other really fun like shopping segments. We went to the Paris flea market with an incredible woman who lives in Paris, Rajia Key. She is a great coffee table book. And it was just fun to kind of tag along with her as she's the expert, and she showed us all through the flea market. So, and we've got so many exciting things coming up. So it's, there's no shortage of content on Homeworthy.
Oh my gosh. And it's got to feel like such a dream to you because you had this idea, you did it, it's been a hit, it keeps evolving, it keeps growing more and more legs, you keep running with it, your husband's involved now. Like, what?
No, it's a real family affair. We were just filming like 20 minutes before we started this podcast. We're documenting some of our apartment and the redecoration of it. We just moved into this new place.
Oh, let's give a shout out to your apartment really quick. Those of you that are watching on either Spotify or YouTube, Allison's own home. She's sitting with your living room behind you, Allison.
Yes. And I need window treatments. It's so light. It's too bright.
How long have you been in this house? It looks like you've been here forever. 5 months? You've been busy. Do you use a designer or is this just you?
Yes, I am using a dear, actually, it's a cousin of my husband. Her name is Claire Fleming Peters. She's fabulous. Everybody should look her up. She was trained under Bunny Williams and she now has her own firm. She's based in Long Island.
Hey, wait, Claire Funny? Is it?
Claire Fleming Peters.
Fleming Peters. Okay, we'll check her out.
She's great. She's got, her taste is a little different than mine. She's like walking into her house is like walking into the, like something's got to give house, you know,
that's my house too.
Yeah. Creamy lights and, it's so beautiful. And I'm like, bring on the pink walls. Yeah. I don't know if you can really see it here, but I do.
It's so good.
Beautiful.
It's so good. Oh,
and you're an art collector, I see. You have it up and over.
Yeah, well, it's a hodgepodge a bit, but
it's good though. It's so good.
Yeah.
I'm a collector. I collect stories, I collect trinkets, and that's what's been just so fun about Homeworthy is just the chance of getting to meet so many different people and hear so many people's sort of different stories. Oh, one other thing I'll mention, another favorite episode was a gentleman named Joe Minton. He's a Fort Worth based interior designer. And he's also in his 90s, I think. And we were chatting. I said, Joe, what are you, I can't remember what the question was, but he basically said to me, I'm just getting started. Like I'm in the prime of my career.
I love him. That's amazing.
He lives in an unbelievable house in Texas that is like, I think it was part of a castle in England dropped into Texas, and it's a total feast for the eyes. So I would highly recommend people.
Wait, what? Tell us his name again. We got to watch that episode.
Joe Minton, Minton.
Okay. I love.
And I met him at a party in Dallas. I was at like a Christie's event, and somebody said, "Oh, you need to go meet Joe." And he's right over here. So I walked over, I introduced myself to Joe. And I was like, Joe, you would be so fabulous on camera. We would love to feature you. I said, but I'm leaving. I'm going to New York in 2 days. I only have the opportunity to film tomorrow. And I had already another shoot scheduled in the afternoon. He was like, oh, honey, I don't wake up until 11. You know, I need my two coffees and I need my paper before you come over, because he's a real night owl and he works late. Anyway, made it work. He invites me over, and it was something that had just been booked the day before. And honestly, sometimes those are the best episodes.
For sure. Just spontaneous.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay, I can't wait to see Joe's house. That's so
you'll
fun.
love it. You'll love it.
I love that. Okay, what roadblocks are common for Homeworthy? I ask this because so many people that are listening are in the design business, and I just feel like roadblocks are part of the job, and knowing kind of how you overcome it feels like nothing's hard to you, Alison.
Oh, definitely.
I don't know you well, but it just seems like you're like, yeah, whatever. That's fine. I'm used to hard. If it wasn't hard, it wouldn't be fun. Like
that is true, but that doesn't mean it's not frustrating sometimes. I mean, I think that if something seems too hard sometimes, it's like, is this worth it? Mm-hmm. Sometimes it is. And then sometimes it's just, you just have to let it go and just move on, because I don't have the energy to spend time trying to fit a square into a circle if it's just not going to work. Mm-hmm. But I think that from a media perspective, I think what can be challenging is, as we want to tell more and more stories globally, mm-hmm. How can we find people in Japan and find our crews in Japan and find the people in Japan? How can we do the same in India? How can we do the same in Africa? I mean, how can we really go global and tell stories in all corners of the world? I mean, I think that that's a challenge for us. We have our people in Los Angeles. We have our people in Texas. We have our people in New Orleans. We have our people in Florida. But as we grow, how can we build out these teams in the far corners of the world is sort of the challenge that we're trying to sort through now.
Wow.
Because I do want to go global. I want to tell stories all over the world.
I want to see those houses too.
So why?
Yeah. Because it sounds like you probably have houses in those regions, but you just need the crews now to do it, or
really finding people.
It's kind of a chicken and the egg thing. Like, which one comes first, right? Is it probably the homeowner first, the fabulous home, and then you got to figure out.
And then we can find a videographer. Yeah, we pinpoint the home and the person, and then we build around them. Sometimes we actually do call outs on social media, and say, hey, we want to film in Jaipur. In India, like, who should we film with there? And then you never know who you're going to get responding. Oh, hey, check out so-and-so. And they'll send a link to an article, or they'll send a link to an Instagram account. That's the amazing thing about social media and how it just opens up the world.
Oh, so cool. It's amazing.
Fan club everywhere.
Yes. Okay. Well, we've kept you really long. One question that we ask every guest that comes on the podcast is, how do you define luxury?
Oh my gosh. Well, for me right now, running this business and having a 3-year-old and a 1.5-year-old, it would probably just be like a hot shower and a really good night's sleep at this point for me. But I don't know. I think that question is so subjective, but like a cozy sweater and a great magazine and a candle burning and a fire going and just like a quiet night at home for me right now is really what I'm craving. I'm such a nester. And I really am a homebody, which is probably how I developed this love for design and decors. I really like being at home. Yeah. So just like a night in is honestly for me luxury right now. And quiet at home.
I love that. Yeah, that's a really great answer. Well, I think
after
also
a hot shower.
Yeah, and we can all experience that, harder obviously with little kids, but it's something we all have, and luxury doesn't have to be expensive. It just is kind of a state of mind and being home and getting cozy and getting to smell that favorite smell. Do you have a favorite candle you're burning right now?
Oh my gosh, I burn a Nest candle a lot. It's like a bamboo scented candle. I think it's bamboo. I also really love, for a splurge, this would be in line with your question of luxury, like the diptyque Bays candle. I think that's Baies. I love that.
It's a
I
good one.
love candles, actually.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, when I used to go to an office and come home at night, the first thing I would do is like dim the lights, burn a candle, and like turn on music. And just to like set the tone of like being at home. And really that to me is luxury, just small things. And to your point, Jess, when you said it doesn't have to be expensive to be luxury, I very much feel like that about homes and the value of homes. It's not to me about, or to our company, about it being filled with the most expensive designer items. I mean, you can create an just as beautiful of a home, I believe, with thrifted finds. And in some cases, that's where the stories are.
Well, and that's really the front row seat that Homeworthy is showing everybody every day, every episode, is that it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be made by this Italian designer. It's really just about collecting the things that are so you and creating home wherever it is, and that you can live fabulously wherever that is, whatever fabulous means to you, whatever personal is to you. And I just love that because, like I said, we've only ever been able to peek inside celebrity homes or homes that are $25 million and on a real estate show. And so you guys are just for the first time allowing us to really see how people really live. And it can be people with great taste like Miles Red and other interior designers, or just people of interest. But we all just get to sort of peek behind the door thanks to you and your very hardworking crew and your ability to get in there and get it done. And I just can't tell you what huge fans we are of what you're doing. So thank you for coming on.
Kind. Thank you so much for having me. I'm just deeply honored, and we loved filming with you.
So thank you.
Keep the suggestions coming if you have other ideas of people who we should feature. We're just anyway so grateful to be here, and just a huge thank you to all of our viewers who continue to watch our content. So thank you both so much.
Yes, definitely. And to find Alison, tell people where they can find Homeworthy.
So on YouTube, they can look up Homeworthy. On Instagram, our handle is @Homeworthy. TikTok, we are Homeworthy. We just signed a deal with Amazon, so we're going to be coming to you from different places. So we've got so many exciting things ahead. And episodes. So stay tuned. We've got Bunny Williams Part 2 coming out soon.
Oh, you heard it here first. That's exciting. Well, thank you for your time, Alison. We'll let you get back to it, but we're so happy that all of our listeners got to hear from you firsthand about the work that you're creating and doing in the world. So
thank you both so much, and love the podcast. Really appreciate being on.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much.
Guys, how great was Alison?
That's my favorite interview we've ever done. Yeah, I was just sitting back listening, just being a fly on the wall, and it was so entertaining. I loved it.
Oh, and I feel like I have permission to go get more tchotchkes. All y'all. We all have more permission to go get more things to tell our story. Yeah. And I love too that that's our ethos. I think on everything that we do is we tell the human story. Like a fabulous human should have a fabulous house. Whatever kind of, whatever your story is, that should be what's plastered on your walls. And this is just like a front row seat at an hour at a time to just binge watch. And that's what I'll be doing probably this weekend is tuning into those episodes that she just told us to go watch.
Yeah, I have some Bunny Williams episodes to watch. And like she said, she's shooting a new one. So I
want to get into that France series.
Yeah,
serious. Yeah, I'm going to do my homework. I want to go to France this year. I
can't wait for the Progressive dinner in New Orleans. Like
so good. Yes.
Take me there.
So cool. Good. Well, you guys, if you have any episode ideas or any guests that you really want us to have come on, please send those in to dearalice@alicelanehome.com. We would also love it if you'd leave us a review. We love to read those. We love to hear from you.
Yeah. So if you want to leave a review, you can go to our Apple podcast page. And if you scroll down just above like where the reviews start, there's a little purple or blue icon that says write a review. Click that. It'll take you to the page to do it. And we love hearing from you guys. So
on a bad day, that's where we go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Keep them coming.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you next time. thanks for listening. If you like our show, please leave a 5-star rating.